start our recording for us. Oh, and hi, Angela.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Yeah. All right. So let's get started here. Hello. Good morning. Or actually, good afternoon now. It is November 23rd. We have much better weather this week, and we're in our third class of our module that is going to be built around not only basics and fundamentals, but crafts the bird's tail. So welcome everybody. Just so glad to have you here today. Now, I have thought long and hard about what to do next, and sort of given where I was in my body and where I think a lot of us are with everything that's going on, I have some experiments to do today. I want to put an image or two in your head, and I was wondering if I could also use a chair again. I know I didn't warn you about that, but so you might want to have a chair handy. So if you want to get that, that would be useful at this point. And while you're doing that, I want to put an image on your head because I have a gargoyle for a grandson. He's 9.5. I absolutely love him, and I love how his body moves, and I love everything. But now we are all going to accept this as nobody but my grandson, and a few other people can probably do this, right? But I want you to meet my gargoyle grandson. So I'm going to try to share my screen, and we'll just see if this works. Take a look, get to whatever screen you're on. This is my gargoyle grandson. He is 9.5. Can you see that?
Wow.
Right. So I want you to observe. I'm actually having a hard time myself kind of seeing it at the moment. There we go. I want you to observe some things about that body, which none of us are going to be able to do, I'm pretty sure. But number one, his feet are flat on the floor. That's pretty amazing. And oh, by the way, he's working right now. I mean, like this is, he's at school. He's doing virtual learning. And this is just the position he's decided he wants to be in. But notice how he's kind of folded up like an accordion. And his lower back has curved because he is so amazingly flexible. In order to make everything work. But you'll notice that he has bent a lot at his knees, and he's also bent a lot at those hip creases we were talking about last week. So just put that in your mind, see how he kind of, and imagine that he stood up right now and unfolded like an accordion. I'll have to get some other pictures of him, but I just thought of this morning, and I just wanted to put that image in your head to start with. So let me stop the share here and get you guys back so that we're here. All right, so now I've got everybody here. I want you to do that, and now if you could get your chair, and if possible, let's see, put your chair sideways. Put your chair like sideways so that you might actually be able to see yourself accordion. Because a lot of people talk about Tai Chi and they say, we want you to stand like you are going to sit in a chair. So I thought we should just sit in a chair and kind of look to the side, you know, just sort of look so you can see yourself sitting. And then I want you to, you know, you may have noticed that my husband puts these pieces of tape on my body, right? And we have this crease right here, right here, right? We were talking about opening and closing this way, but it goes the other way too. That's one of those creases he's accordioning on. So when we sit in a chair, when you go to lower your butt into a chair, notice how your butt reaches and you're folding at that crease, right? So give that a look, and then you kind of lean forward and you stand up. Now, some of us need to push or hold on to something. This is actually a very good way to get your your legs stronger. So if you want to practice this at some point, but you can also, you know, hold on to something, right, when you're doing this, or push yourself up. But you know, you can actually come down, and I want you to see that at that moment you're almost down, you're kind of accordioned. You see that? Now, we're not going to accordion like my grandson, but he does that. So where is it? It's not here. It's not up in our backs. It's right here that we're folding. So you could actually, I mean, some of us feel better when our arms are out to kind of sit in a chair like this, but you could also put your hands here and feel how it goes from open to more closed, right? So we're going to come back to that. I just want to put those in your mind. It's something that you can do to get stronger. Is from wherever you might be sitting in any room, you can see, you know, push less on chairs, and how much can you push with your legs and stand up, and how far can you get down into that chair. And notice that when you do, your body naturally accordions, okay? It's like this natural accordion. Natural accordion. Got it? Oh, you guys look great. All right, enough for the chair. Speaking of chairs, did anybody last time at this week try sitting in a chair and gently moving your upper body and keeping your lower body? So let's actually do a little bit of that. Let's just turn our upper bodies and not let our hips turn. Oh, you guys have really got this down. Not let our hips turn. In fact, we could, you know what we could do? We could be here and we could open and close. And we could open and one on the top and one on the bottom. And open and close. And then how about this? As we're closing, start by turning your belly button. Start by turning your belly button. And then open and come back the other way. Now, start by turning your belly button. Let that kind of start your arms. And as you come back, start with sort of your belly button. All right, so to one side. And you know what we could do? We could actually sort of, yeah, let's just stay open here. Stay open here and then close that upper arm. It's your right arm. It's your, as you turn to the left, right? And then the new upper arm as you turn the other direction. Feel a nice stretch, 70%. In Tai Chi, it's very fundamental. As you do more Tai Chi, and those of you who are practicing Tai Chi now, you can, you never, ever, ever move part of your upper body without moving from here, ever. So you'll sometimes hear a teacher in one of the other classes, some of you may have run into that, and you need to put your hands like this, and they'll say, make a little tiny turn to your left. That's what they're saying. They haven't quite clued you into the basic and fundamental, but the fundamental is you really, everything your upper body does is an expression of what sort of the brain in the center of your middle body tells your body to do. All right, so we're gonna, so just put that in your head. It's something we're gonna be coming back to next week, but put that in your head. And for those of you, I know that some of you have been doing a lot of Tai Chi, you can bring that into your other class. You can go, oh, I was just moving that arm. Think about it. That arm, we can go back and do this again. Let's put our arms out here and close. We'll just close and open. That's what we were doing before, right? Close and open. But now what I want you to think about this time is as we close, there's a turn. Even if it was just a little turn, but we're gonna make it sort of big at the moment. And open and turn. See if you can connect the arms with that turn. One begins and ends with how, and if you don't turn very far, it's a smaller turn, right? All right, just want to put that in your head too. So we're going to be coming back to that next week. So two things that are just kind of in your head are this accordion, right? And you see that when I accordion, there's a line from my head to my heels, right? It's a line from my head to my heels that just sort of stays there. So it's something you can practice. It doesn't matter whether you go down this far or further, or you're like my grandson and somehow you're able to be a gargoyle. You will be aligned. All right, I want to get our lower bodies working a little bit more. So let's, your feet can be wherever they feel comfortable. Remember we did this activity, we were just opening and closing here, right? Opening and closing this joint and connecting it to the turning of our waist. Now I want you to open. Remember we did this activity where we shifted our weight a little and we went like this and we did those knee bumps. Do you remember that? Right, and I want you to look down. I really want you to work on this. I want you to just glance down, make sure on the foot that's staying straight, that knee keeps coming out as you open up, that knee keeps coming out right towards your toes. And as you bump your other foot that's moving, that knee just always goes out in the direction of the toes. And we can do that on the other side. We're trying to build awareness of, and we're trying to make that normal, right? Like your knee never wants to be anywhere else. So let's do it on the other side. And out, in, or whatever is your speed. Look down, do it slow, do it fast, do it however you want, but make sure you're pivoting on that heel. And you're opening, right? It's an open and a close and an open, right? You're opening your hips. We call it your quad. But you are very much just doing a little knee bump so that they're going in the correct direction, right? Just to remind you of that. Okay, good. I hope to get into our upper bodies again later, but what I'd like to do now is, again, more body awareness, and therefore we're going to sort of violate some rules because I just want you to imagine, okay? So don't worry about whether you're doing Tai Chi or not doing Tai Chi. I just want you to imagine for a minute. So I want you to imagine, just be comfortable, however you're going to be comfortable, be centered. I want you to imagine that you're a puppet. and you have absolutely no real power to move on your own. Not only that, everything, I mean, you can stand on your feet, but in part it's because there is a cord that goes from the very top of your head and it's gently supporting you. So you're just hanging there, just hanging there. And now I want you to, you don't need to move your hand, but I'm just gonna demonstrate here by saying, now the puppeteer is gonna move over onto your right foot. I mean, over your right foot, so your weight shifts. And then the puppeteer's like, let me see how this puppet works. So I want you to just hang there. We're going over the other side. Great, I see you guys following me. And then the puppeteer comes back to the other side. And then the puppeteer has a magnet in the floor that's moving to your left heel. So, and then it's going to turn your foot out. So let it turn your foot out. That heel's going to turn out. You can mirror me. And then turn it back. And then the puppeteer is going to put you there. I want you to just hang. And then going to do that to you on the other side. Nothing is done except that the puppeteer does it. And we're going to do that again. Back. You're hanging there. And out. And over. And out. And coming over and out. And then the puppeteer brings your sort of body over your left leg. All the way. And then has the audacity to lift your knee a little bit. And then to put your foot down. And then it's gonna move you back over. You guys are doing great. And close that foot. And then move you back. And do it on the other side. Gonna pull that foot out. And then move your weight over and just hang you there. And then have the audacity to pick up that knee. Maybe even shake your toes a little bit. And then put it back down. And come back. And then shift you over. I want you to just feel like a puppeteer. Now, I mean like a puppet. Now we're coming over this time, all the way over, and you're just kind of dropped there, so you're just there as the puppet. Your knee gets lifted up, and then it unfolds, the puppeteer unfolds and lets your heel go out. And then actually moves your center line to the very center between your feet. And you're just gonna be there. And then move, and then actually moves you a little more forward, and that left knee bends and the back knee is straight. Then moves you back to the very center. And actually turns you along that center. Until now your feet are parallel. Then it's gonna pull you over to the front foot. It will be your right foot. And lift up that left knee and unfold it. And move you forward onto that new foot. So I wanted you guys to sort of experience this. So you can relax now. Is there anything you want to share about being a puppet, how that was or wasn't weird or different for you, or what was harder or easier because you were a puppet in your head? Marion.
Harder than the other.
What?
One side is harder than the other.
Ah, Angela, one side is harder than the other. Yeah, that's often the case. So you may have a weaker side or just a side that you're not used to attending to. You may be footed, you know, you may have always kicked a ball in one way. When you kicked a ball, your weight went onto one, you know, one leg. So you can be footed as well as handed. So now you know the side that needs work on.
What I noticed about it is that my upper body felt like it was very loose, and I could totally imagine just being, you know, hanging from a string. But when I needed to move my legs, I felt a little wiggly, you know, trying to get my center on one leg. And I wanted to control the leg I was going to push out a little bit more. You know what
Yes, that's the hard part of this exercise.
I mean? Yeah.
The wonderful part about this exercise is it does release the tension in the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the tension in the rest of our body is inadvertently getting in the way of our balance because our necks or shoulders are forward or whatever. So I want you to have this sense of puppeteer. And for those of you who are practicing Tai Chi elsewhere, you may find it useful to sometimes imagine a puppeteer is really the one who's doing it for you, but give yourself a little bit of power in what you're doing. I mean, a little more integrity than a puppet would have,
Yeah.
right? But it is the case that part of what we're trying to do is build this awareness of our joints and their connections and our own intentionality about our movement and when we connect it. So I warned you that I was going to be breaking a little stuff here, but you guys actually managed, you know, in doing that. So you might have noticed this was a bow step, right, that we went over last week. So let's actually go over that again. Let's talk a little bit more about it. So now you can be back in your bodies, but I did want to talk about this alignment a little. I mean, I did want you to experience that puppeteer moving that alignment for you. I also want to show you one other thing. You know, Kelly talks about this. I'm going to come really close so that you can see, and I'm going to overdo it, okay? I'm going to come really close so you can see and overdo it. And I want you to be conscious right here of these hip creases again. Kelly talks about, and I want to get my feet a little bit so you can see them. Kelly does this lovely job of saying when you shift your weight, it will be helpful to think of turning in and closing that crease a little bit. Okay? Coming and closing. I don't know that you can see the turn. I'm going to overdo it. Turn. See, if I turn, this moves. If I turn, this moves. It's very natural. My hips move too, or they might move, right? But that is one way to get my weight over there, right? So we can actually, when we're making a bow step, we're going to be turning our hips because we're going to have our hips to the corner. So you can actually play with that. Most of us are very stiff in this area. So learning how to little by little relax things, not necessarily become a gargoyle, but there's so many little pieces. There's the relaxing of this, you know, so you can open these guys. There's, you know, being able to deal with this crease here, which you could deal with this way, but you can also deal with this way. You know, you can deal with this way, this crease here, right? So lots of things to just explore. In your learning Tai Chi, you will have a better experience if you just keep exploring these things and don't try to achieve perfection, because it's a long time loosening all this area up. So you can do it. So let's try some bow steps here. And just follow my call. We're going to, and follow what you see. So we're going to bring our alignment over onto this right side. We're going to turn out. And then we're going to bend both knees and bring the alignment over this heel all the way so that we can pick up the other one and unfold it. One is 45, one is straight. Make sure your hips to the corner as you move forward. One leg is bent, the other has straightened. The back leg has straightened. All right, and when you look down, your front leg is in line with your toe. All right, and let's do that again on the other side. We're gonna move over here, turn out on your right side, knee bump as we go down in the correct direction. Shifting our weight over, picking this foot up, unfolding it just as far as however it goes. Push with the back foot, root, just sort of dig in with that right foot and bend the knee in direction of your toes. All right, good job. And let's do it again. Shifting. Turning, coming down in the knee bump direction, moving our weight over, unfolding, hips to the corner, bent knee, straightish knee. Great. I want you to see it from this side. You don't have to turn, or you can turn. So, but actually maybe it'll be easier because then I can do left or right, but you may have to kind of look at the screen. So if we're all lined up kind of shoulder to shoulder, facing this direction, and we shift to the left, turn out to the right, think about where our knees are, go down a little bit in the knees in the knee bump direction, come over to the front, to the right, unfold that other foot, push with the right foot, bend knee with the left foot. One is straight. I want you to kind of see this. I'm going to overemphasize it by taking a bigger step. I want you to see that I have this nice line here. So I'm not doing this, right? I'm like this. See that? Not like this. I have, on the bent knee side, there's quite a crease. On the other side, I'm pretty open because there's lots of room to be open and because my hips are to the corner, which allows me to be open. Just want you to sort of notice that that's how that works. And my upper body could be wherever it wants, right? Okay, let's do it on the other side. We're gonna, we're gonna shift to the right. I think this is different. Turn to the left and bend. Think about those knee directions, unfold, and make our bow step. Wonderful. Oh, you guys look so good. And now I want you to, I want to still do it in this direction, but I want to do it on the other side in this direction because I want you to see how else it looks. So we're going to shift to the left, turn out to the right, bend both knees, knee bump, right? You've turned your hips a little bit. You're going to finish that in a minute. You're going to step out and turn. Now, I want you to, I don't know if you can see this actually. I want you to see that on this side, Did it come off? There we go. This stripe goes up and down. This one on my shirt, you see that? Because I'm doing a little bit of an accordion on this side. You see that? And this one, my knee's in the direction of my toe. You see the difference there on those stripes? Just wanted you to see that there was this thing going on the other side. All right, so let's do a little more practice here, and then we're going to get to the upper body. We're going to learn the beginning of the footwork that we'll come to in Grasp the Bird's Tail. So we're actually going to start, and we're going to learn it on both sides. I'm hoping this works. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So if you'll line up with me, I think this will work. We're going to shift to the left, turn out to the right, bend both knees and shift our weight over to the right, release the left, step out, and turn our knees to the corner. Then we're going to come back to kind of center with our center. And we're going to do that by bending the back leg a little bit and straightening the front leg. They're pushing on each other. And then we're going to pivot on the left leg until they are parallel. Then we're going to push with the right leg. Oh, actually, I'm realizing now you guys are looking backwards, aren't you?
Yeah.
This is not good. Okay, I'm going to do it in the same direction as you. I apologize. All right, let's start here. All right, shift left, turn out right, move your weight over onto the right leg, bending your knees, unfolding. Change your weight, bend that left knee, straightening the back. Now I want you to bend the back knee some, get your weight into the center, and then just like you had I just want you to pivot to the right on that left heel. Then move your weight, that's your new back foot. Move your weight over onto above the left foot. I want you to pick up that right foot and unfold it and make a bow step in this direction. Were you able to see that time?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. All right, and I want to teach it to you on both sides. So we're going to go to the right and turn out on the left. Move our weight over the left heel. Unfold that right foot. Heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And then back to center by having both knees bent a little bit. Pivot on that foot till your feet are parallel. And then push with this leg. I'm hoping it's your left leg. Bring it in and out for a bow step. Hips to the corner. So this is like half the footwork we're going to have. It involves, so that's your introduction to that. It involves coming back to center. Some things that you can notice are that when you come back to center, your upper body, for those of you who are a little more advanced, you will start to think about accordioning, okay? So you were like this, but when you come back to center a little bit, your upper body has to keep the same angle. So there's a little bit of an accordion that starts to happen as you make your turn. I mean, as you come back to center. So ask yourself, you know, how far you are. If your steps are really small forward, then there's very small amount of tilt. But again, if you see tilt and you're trying to get it, it comes from here. It comes from these creases. It doesn't come from here, right? It comes from these creases right here. So that's, as your legs get stronger and you get more balanced, you'll be able to do that. You guys look great. I can see you practicing this. So this is basics and fundamentals, and you go into a whole lot more detail here than we would anywhere else. Marlene, question. Did you have?
I still have hard grounding my feet to the ground. I kind of keep trying to lift it somehow. Can't root myself into the ground.
Ah, interesting. Well, let's explore that. Let's explore that first by, let's get into our bow step again, and I won't call it right and left because I'm gonna do it with you here. But we're gonna come over here and we're gonna turn out. Now, take a moment, imagine those knee bumps, but also imagine that your feet are kind of either magnetically into the floor or sort of screwing themselves into the floor a little bit. Then we're going to sink. And when we sink, I want you to think like your legs are getting really powerful. Okay? And then make sure that you're over this foot and the entire weight is on this foot. You can't pick this one up until that's true. Then you can unfold it. Now push with the back one, but keep it on the floor as you go heel, ball, toe, bend your knee. Can you feel then? I want you to feel, here's what I want you to do now. Get comfortable in a bow stance, whichever bow stance is most comfortable for you. Just get comfortable. One's at 45, front foot, and then I want you to bend both knees though, be in the center. And I want you to think gorilla. Just think gorilla. Oh, Veronica, you're fabulous. Yeah, the rest of the body can be whatever it is, right? Gorilla. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Do you also notice that, oh, Anka, that's great. That's fabulous. Did you notice that sometimes you spread a little bit more right here when you think gorilla? And your lower back relaxes. Somehow you know that because you've seen gorillas. So again, for those of you who are doing Tai Chi, the more gorilla-like you can be, you will probably also have your feet a little more on the ground. But let me check in with you, Marlene. Did that help at all?
Yeah.
It did? Okay, keep looking at that. Because finding an image for yourself, it might be a gorilla image. The gorilla doesn't work. Everybody kind of goes like this, and it doesn't necessarily work for your upper body, right? But it really works for your lower body. If you've ever seen the Maori do their katas, I guess you'd call them katas, they're doing this kind of stuff, and I mean, they are just so grounded and so strong.
Yeah.
I think the gorilla image really works for me in getting that. But it doesn't just do gorilla, it does this.
Right.
It does this, and it does this, because that's what gorillas do. And that's what little 9-year-old gargoyles do, because that's what's natural for apes in the wild. And some of us just haven't gotten civilized yet, and Tai Chi would be easier for us if we hadn't gotten so civilized. All right, I wanna do one other. You guys have worked so hard today on the bottom. I want to introduce you to one more activity that we'll be getting into more next time. I want you, this is sort of the upper body version of furry friends. So would you stand with me for a minute? And we didn't really do that much with our upper body. So let's first just ground ourselves. Let the bottom half of you think somehow you're a gorilla in a suit. Maybe that'll have your lower body go heavy, but you'll still have some integrity to your body. Not quite sure. And then let's do an opening like we've done before. We've kind of done this activity, right? Where we've come down. We're going to do a couple of those. We're just going to leave the lower body for now and do one more. Just really enjoy that. Feel the extension. And then this now we're going to take a bag of apples. Remember we did that? And I want you to hold a bag of apples. There's a little distance between, it's kind of heavy. And remember, I think with this group, we imagined a lever behind our shoulder blades that went down to pull our arms up without doing it from our shoulders. Right, wonderful. And now I would actually like you to just relax. Could you just relax for a minute? And put your hands down now that you've done all of that. And I'd just like you to think you're outside. You're outside. And you've just been really enjoying the last of the summer weather. And you look and 50 butterflies come. And they're now all around you. And I want you to put an arm out, however you want to put an arm out. And a butterfly is going to land on that arm. Imagine it on your arm now. It's on your arm. Imagine what that feels like. You want it to stay on your arm, but you're going to turn and show it to a friend of yours. So how do you do that? How do you move with the butterfly on your arm? I want you to move with the butterfly on your arm. And now, oh my gosh, there's one coming flying towards your other arm. Can you entice the other one? Oh, you guys look beautiful. And you know what? There's a butterfly on your head as well. But any minute, you can tell that any minute they might leave if they get too startled. But you keep moving, inviting more butterflies to come and rest with you. All right. I love what I'm seeing, the smiles. We are going to do more of this. You can stop now. Next week. But I wanted to give you that, right? That is so cool. You guys' bodies transformed with that image. Your connection with your upper body transformed. Your awareness of your movement, just like in Furry Friends. This is what we do in Tai Chi. We unify our body and make it almost sacred, you know? I mean, like, to me, the butterfly landing, this is really special. And you know, your body knows what to do. So this is an image you can practice. Those of you who are practicing Tai Chi in other venues, you can take the butterflies with you and see what happens.
Yeah.
But remember, they might get scared away, you know? So keep that in. Marion.
I just wanted to say that I realized when you stop the exercise that I moved my arms from side to side and I never moved my hips at all. And I wasn't thinking about my waist. It just did it properly, kind of.
There you go.
just focusing on the butterflies, you know, it was interesting.
Congratulations on that. Yeah. And then eventually we'll connect the lower and the upper together, and that'll be exciting too. Any other observations or comments or things you want to share before we close class?
I do.
Yeah, Veronica.
So an aha for me was that whenever I was trying to get into a good bow stance, I was not using any, I learned today that if I just stick my butt out, I crease right here. Whereas I'm always trying to hold my butt underneath, like I'm looking at my fly. Yeah.
Right. You need to be a bit of a gargoyle. You don't want to bend your back, but you do need to bend at this hip crease. Yeah, you do. And let me tell you, use the chair. It will make you stronger. And I have never, ever heard anything. I mean, I have heard again and again and again and again. The image that will work for you is sitting in a chair. This is what, when you're doing this, you need to say, reach for the chair with your bottom, with the end of your spine. Reach for that chair.
Well, I always stick my rear out too, so.
It's not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, you don't want to do this, right? This would be a problem.
Right.
But if you're accordioning down, up, down, up, do you see where I'm bending?
Yeah.
It won't be quite like sticking your butt out, but you're going to have to go through butt sticking out probably to get there. Don't ever say what you're doing is wrong. It is your body's natural way of exploring it. And until you can loosen everything up, that's how it's going to be. So that's great. Any other observations? Congratulations, everybody, on some great work today. This could be kind of boring, but it's so cool, isn't it? All right.
Just wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not boring. I think visualization, if you incorporate it in every move, is so helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way too. I have done the puppet activity with a little more integrity, I mean, in my body, but I have done that activity, or letting a puppeteer be right here. So I'm still going from my center, but I'm imagining actually that somebody else is controlling my body. It brings me that unity sometimes when I'm practicing. All right, let's close class.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming today.
Thank you, Dee.
You're welcome.
It was great.
Good.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was a fun class.
Always a great class.
Oh, and
Good to see you all.
if you see my actual furry friend, underfoot.